In this video, you will learn top 10 Tom Hardy ranked movies. Let's begin. Mad Max: Fury Road release. Year 2015. Mad Max: Fury Road is a brilliantly crafted film about what it means to have freedom and live for oneself. Opening years after the fall of society, Mad Max finds himself captive in the Citadel, a tyrannical stronghold built to house its inhabitants until they die at their captors' hands. Faced with an impending death sentence from Immortan Joe, the movie's main antagonist, Max agrees to join forces with Imperator Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron, who has somehow escaped her confines, only to learn she plans on crossing treacherous lands fraught with bandits and warlords just to reach her homeland again. Starring Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoult. Directed by George Miller. Dunkirk 2017. Critics' consensus. Dunkirk carries us through an emotional journey of harrowing action and suspense, with brilliant performances by its talented cast. Synopsis. In May 1940, Germany had advanced into France, trapping Allied troops on the beaches of Dunkirk. But those waiting to evacuate were safe from Nazi planes for only so long. An epic production featuring stellar work from director Christopher Nolan and cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema. Not to mention a star-studded cast made up of unknowns: Fionn Whitehead, Tom Glencarny, Jack Lowden, Harry Styles. Dunkirk offers us one for the ages. Locke 2013. Critics' consensus. A one-man show set in a single confined location, Locke demands a powerful performance and gets it from a never more compelling Tom Hardy. Synopsis. A man's, Tom Hardy, life unravels after he leaves a construction site at a critical time and drives to London. More. Starring Tom Hardy, Ruth Wilson, Andrew Scott, Tom Holland. Directed by Stephen Knight. The Drop 2014. Critics' consensus. There's no lack of similarly themed crime dramas, but The Drop rises above the pack with its well-written script and stellar cast. Synopsis. Bob Saganowski, Tom Hardy, tends bar in his cousin's pub and looks the other way when local mobsters use it for illegal purposes, until one night there is an accident. More. Starring Tom Hardy, Noomi Rapace, James Gandolfini, Matthias Schoenaerts. Directed by Michael R. Roskam. The Dark Knight Rises 2012. Critics' consensus. The Dark Knight Rises is an ambitious, thoughtful, and potent action film that rounds out Christopher Nolan's series with a bang. Synopsis. 8 years ago, Batman, Christian Bale, teamed up with Commissioner Gordon, Gary Oldman, to disappear into the night. More. Starring Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, Tom Hardy, Marion Cotillard. Directed by Christopher Nolan. Inception 2010. Critics' consensus. The Dark Knight Rises is an ambitious, thoughtful, and potent action film that rounds out Christopher Nolan's series with a bang. Synopsis. 8 years ago, Batman, Christian Bale, teamed up with Commissioner Gordon, Gary Oldman, to disappear into the night. More. Starring Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, Tom Hardy, Marion Cotillard. Directed by Christopher Nolan. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy 2011. Critics' consensus. Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy is a taut puzzle of mystery, suspicion, and intelligence that director Thomas Alfredson masterfully weaves into each frame. Synopsis. In 1970s England, the head of MI6, Control, John Hurt, dispatches an agent to find out why Russia has been interfering with NATO countries' affairs. To do this, he must pose as one of them, even if it means breaking some rules along the way. Starring Gary Oldman, Kathy Burke, Benedict Cumberbatch. Directed by Thomas Alfredson. Warrior 2011. Critics' consensus. Warrior is a cliché-ridden action film that transcends those clichés with gripping fight scenes and powerful performances from its actors. Synopsis: a family learns about redemption through fighting when Tom Hardy, an ex-Marine suffering from PTSD, trains his brother Brendan for the USC Championship. Along for the ride are Brendan's wife Maureen and his father Paddy, who provide emotional support for their loved ones, even though they're struggling to cope themselves after years of emotional abuse from Paddy. Starring Joel Edgerton, Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte, Jennifer Morrison. Directed by Gavin O'Connor. A Layer Cake, 2004. Critics' consensus: a stylized electric British crime thriller. Synopsis: in London, a mid-level cocaine dealer, Daniel Craig, prepares to leave the criminal life behind. But before he can escape, one final job awaits him, which leads him down an increasingly dark path of violence and brutality. Starring Daniel Craig, call Meanie, Kenneth Cranham. Directed by Matthew Vaughn.
The Revenant, 2015. Critics' consensus: as starkly beautiful as it is harshly uncompromising, The Revenant uses Leonardo DiCaprio's committed performance as fuel for an absorbing drama that offers punishing challenges and rich rewards. Synopsis: while exploring the uncharted wilderness in 1823, frontiersman Hugh Glass, Leonardo DiCaprio, sustains life-threatening injuries from a brutal bear attack. More. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy, Domhnall Gleeson, Will Poulter. Directed by Alejandro G. Inarritu. Thanks for watching this video.